Hey, this is pretty cool. This is a 1964 Rickenbacker, and the 660, so you can see the inlays go all the way across, and on this particular guitar, it has a bridge that was actually developed here, the Mastery Rickenbacker bridge, which if you love Rickenbackers, I love Rickenbackers. I just think they're really neat. Pete Townshend once called Rickenbackers the Ferrari of electric guitars. They have a really light touch to them. There's a very woody sound to these old Rickenbackers, and in large part, Rickenbacker now has the same size factory as they did back in the 60s. Now, this guitar came in and is already sold, this 1964, but they do make a copy of it, and this one is a really early copy, so it has this checkerboard binding. A very rare thing that they quit doing largely about 1971-72. I'm going through this 1965 Rickenbacker amplifier, and these 660s, of all the Rickenbackers, a big complaint with Rickies is that they have kind of a small neck. These 660s have a really wide neck. This was actually developed or helped develop by Tom Petty, who they made a Tom Petty model and then took off all his name and just made it a regular 660. So you have the inlays that go all the way across and the checkerboard binding, the gold plastic. We were told last year they were going to quit making these, and now we were just heard, and this is breaking news, that they're going to go back into production with the 660. The problem is they're a year on back order. Natural sound. If you play acoustic guitar, you're going to love the sound of a Rickenbacker. They record real well, and that woody sound comes through. Any Beatles record you've ever heard almost for sure has a Rickenbacker guitar, especially the earlier 60s, the first 4 or 5 records, is always that Rickenbacker sound that they relied on for the distinctive tone, and they relied on because you could hear the vocals on the guitar. Now, this is probably one of the rarest Rickenbackers we've had in. I know what. This we just got in. It's just coming to market. It has this checkerboard binding on the back. These 360 models have the arched top and carved top like this, the bound cat's eye sound holes, the stereo jacks, but in about 1972, they stopped using checkerboard binding, something people were crying about forever, and it wasn't until 30 years later that they added it onto some models. This guitar also has a feature that's only found in 1971, and that's a bound headstock. So I will pull up this 12-string, and if you see the headstocks here, these are similar headstocks, but this one has binding on it. Is that original, Uncle Willie? Yes, Gwendolyn, it is. That is an original bound headstock, 1971 Rickenbacker that still has the checkerboard binding, and this is a fantastic guitar. Even though it's slightly out of tune, that comes from the factory like that for no extra charge. But you can see the super flamed body on this. This is in pristine condition. It's all original. The bridge cover is on it. The case is original. We have these sparkle inlays still, which they went to a shorter inlay just 2 years later. So this is coming out. This is probably $5,500, and I dare any Rickenbacker collector to please show us your bound headstock Rickenbacker. Just try to find a picture of this anywhere, and this is something that's pretty special. So there you go. That's it on Rickenbackers. We've got quite a few in stock, including some really cool 12 strings, and I won't even say how famous the Ricky 12 sound is, all right? All right, guys. See you later.